All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's get on to part 2 of this right here build. Today is Wednesday, and I was gonna start the lift kit today. It already has a lift kit on it, but we're gonna modify it. But I think instead of doing the lift kit and the wheels and tires, we're gonna worry about electrical because we got more electrical to do than the lift kit. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it. I'll show you exactly what I got going on and exactly what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna do different than last time. So last video, we went ahead and removed the stock body, put this aftermarket body on. As you can see, we got stuff like right here, you know, and we might be able to get some of this stuff out. We might not be able to, no big deal. Anyways, last video, we also cleaned up the floor, took the dash out, cleaned in there as well. Looks a lot better. Floor looks a lot better. This is the battery compartment. This is the Vatra 51.2, 150 amp hours. Now, this cart does have the Navitas 5kW 600 amp controller motor combo on it. I'm not running 72 volts. I have 72 in walking tall, and it ran like into upper 40s. That's as fast as I had it, but it was all squirrely because of the tires and wheels. I don't need to run that fast on a golf cart. That's just not me. Well, on this golf cart, I don't need to run that fast. Okay, so we're gonna run the Vatra battery, and I'm gonna put it right here on the passenger side. And 150 amp hour is a little bit longer than the 100 amp hour. So we got that. So it's not leaving us with much room to work with or play with here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick a 12 volt battery right here. This is the battery we're gonna go with, and I'll tell you why. We're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna run this battery here because it has the gauge built into the top of the battery. So no more having to get on the app to see if this right here has percentage on the battery or anything like that. Now I had a lot more room in walking tall because I ran the battery front to back in the middle. In this one, we can't do that because we have the motor control and everything right there. I'm going to run the charger for the battery right here, okay? That's my plans. One reason I'm gonna run it right here up against the 12 volt, it'll stop the 12 volt from moving side to side, and I might even get a bracket to put down here, like a little piece of angle bracket to keep the battery from going front to back as well, okay? I'm gonna just keep it simple. I'm not going to run the 8-gain switch panel on this right here cart like I had on walking tall, simply due to the fact that the F&R switch is down here and it's stock on the body. We're not going to shave it or anything. Like I said, we're not even painting the body. We're just gonna run the stock color body. This right here, Noco Genius 10X1 was on my wife's golf cart. Since we did the wife's golf cart differently, we're gonna place this right here on this cart and the Noco GCP2 because this is gonna have more audio on it and it's gonna have more lights and stuff like that. So that's why we're running the 12 volt battery, and we just ran the DC converter in hers. So I'm planning to put this right here somewhere on the cart as well. I think I have some room to mount it, probably like right around here in this cavity, or maybe even in that cavity there. All right, just cut me a piece of aluminum real quick, put 2 holes in it. This is gonna keep the battery from shifting forward and back. All right, everything's mounted. Went ahead and mounted the Vatra. Went ahead and mounted the 12 volt charger, the cart charger. The battery is in there with a piece of angle there. Battery's not going anywhere. So this right here is now mounted. I'm not gonna lie, I hate the way that looks, like it's upside down in there. I don't like that. Let's pull this right here off. And that's the inside of that battery there. It's got that cover on it. I think we took this right here battery apart when we reviewed this 150 amp hour battery. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the cover back on there. I'll just flip it around. I like that look better than I like the other look. So this right here back bolted back up. That last clip, I was like, man, I don't like the way that looks. So I had to do that. Kind of like a before And after just using some of this Ultra Matte here. All right, piece is now dry. I went ahead and put the Noco in. There's gouges. There's probably gonna be more gouges as we ride, or especially if my son gets on here and starts driving it. The Noco fits. You do not need any kind of special adapter for the Presidents. Even the Noco knockoffs fit this right here just fine. I just used 3 screws. It does distort it just a little bit from side to side. It's not perfectly round, as you can see there, but it works good. And that's done. All right, so I moved away from this section because we're gonna have to run power wires from the 12-volt battery up into the dash for the amplifiers. So I got these Kicker KM65 speakers, and these are Marine speakers. So I kept them from Walking Tall. I kept everything from Walking Tall Audio. Now, went online, checked out the openings, which is like 5 1/16 of a hole opening. I'm gonna go off of this back, or this right here piece of metal on the back. I'm gonna go off of this line right here on the front. I went ahead and put some tape down so I can mark it all out, and with like a Sharpie or whatever. I'm gonna try to line them up between this bar and this right here bracket on both of them to try to get them as symmetrical as possible. All right, so went ahead and took some measurements from this piece of metal to this line here is 7 7/8 of an inch. And from the inside of this right here pipe to the inside of this right here tab is 10 5/8. I double checked over here and it's the same exact measurement as well. So I didn't want to just measure this and then just copy it over without measuring. Don't ever do that. Sometimes it could be like a bit wonky. So next I'm gonna just try to take a straight edge and find a center. Basically I'm gonna just take these numbers and put them into the calculator on my phone to find center, because it's been a many years since I've been in school. So by doing fractions, I'm gonna just do it the easy way. Then once we do that, we're gonna try to mark our centers, and we try to put like a point here somewhere, a point over there somewhere. And then I got to see if I have a hole saw, this right here big. If not, I guess I'm gonna have to run to the store and get one. All right, did the math in my head real quick. Obviously that's a lie. Half of 7 7/8 is 2.625. Half of 10 5/8 is 4.375. Now we need to start marking some things and trying to pinpoint exactly where these speakers are gonna go. The last numbers were completely wrong. I started looking at them, I was like, half of 10 5/8 is not 4 and, supposed to be 3/16, because that'd be 5 and, whatever that is. And I said, you know what? We got it as like 5 and 3 125, and then half of 7 7/8 we got was like 3.9375 after doing some more measurements. And now I said, you know what? This is just a golf cart. It does not have to be in the center between here and here. It can be off 1/8 of an inch. And it can be off of the 1/8 of an inch that way as well. So what I'm saying is this. I went ahead and I pulled a tape from this line 4 inches. So let's calculate, instead of saying this is 7 7/8 from this line to the back of the back seat, I just said that's 8. So I just went up here, came down up 4 inches, marked my line. Did that on both sides. Between here and here, instead of 10 5/8, I just said it's 10 1/2. So we went 5 1/4 from here over. So we got 5 1/4 there, 5 1/4 there. This is our center spot, and this is our center spot as well. All right, just got back from Hobo Freight and got us a 5-inch hole saw. It's gonna take a little bit extra cutting once we get through it with this, but the speaker should drop in here shortly. All right, first hole is drilled and we got a problem. Can anyone tell me what the problem is? I'll wait. Okay, here's the problem. I don't know if you've noticed this or not. There's only one hole, there needs to be 2. All right, got them in. 5 inch is gonna do. They're gonna be a little snug, but once you put the screws in to hold it down, it'll pull that plastic right up against the side of the speaker. And I think it looks pretty good, pretty symmetrical as well. All right, so next thing we need to do is to mount the sub. Now, I've been back and forth places to mount the sub. I thought about taking this under body off here and mounting the sub above the motor between the two uprights in the rear. I thought about mounting it down here, but we'd have to raise both sides there in order to get past that hump, or either trim the hump down. Then I was just thinking, why don't we just hang it from the back seat back here? That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. All right, the sub is in, it's mounted. It's very sturdy. I have it going through here and through there. I needed to see if I can get a washer underneath these right here as well. This right here, it's not really rattling any. And this has a lip to it right here. And I believe all of these right here will barely miss it. And it will. So we're good there. And I like that it's not on the very bottom down here. The only thing about it is from where it rubbed up against on the last cart, I'm gonna probably just take some black spray paint and try to cover this right here a little bit. All right, I just shot a little rattle can on it. Maybe that will cover a lot of things in there. And the paint that I used is a ultra matte, so you know it's not gonna stay shiny. So and it dries pretty quickly, but I'm about to quit for right now. I got something to do, and we'll come back to it in just a little bit. All right, another day. Let's get started. So hopefully we can finish the electrical on the cart today. Last night before we quit, we painted the sub, we mounted the sub. I still kind of like the way that's at. I painted this piece yesterday, y'all seen that. And then I sprayed this right here down as well, just because it was faded out. And I put a pretty heavy coat on there, so I even saved the speaker wire from the from Walking Tall, so it runs down. Got it going down here and up into the dash, so it should be long enough that we can run the two speakers and mount the amp back in here in this cavity here for the speakers. This amp right here on the sub in Walking Tall. Well, I had another one that I never took out the box until this video. And then this one just came in yesterday. This is gonna be for the sub. So we're gonna do a mono block, 400.1 on the sub this time. And we're gonna do these two 400.2s on each pair of Kicker KM65s. Just a little update, speakers are in. Went to the hardware store yesterday, got all new stainless screws for all the speakers. I think these right here look pretty good where they're at. The sub, I got the wire ran down. I need to put it in onto the sub. I poked a little hole down here. I left some extra wire there for the sub in case I needed it. But I used tape to hold all the wires together. And I don't use zip ties, but just because it's going underneath the floor mat here, and I didn't want the zip ties to impose into the routing of that. But so I got my sub and both my rear speakers going into the dash. All right, not a lot of progress, but a little bit. Ran me a 8-gauge cable from the negative, 8-gauge cable from the positive, going into a circuit breaker. Both of those are leaving down. And if you're wondering, how am I gonna tell the difference between the ground and the power? On the ground wire, I like to wrap electrical tape on it in certain spots, just to let me know one's positive, one's ground. Went ahead and got everything, try to get as tight as I could in here. Got all three speaker wires, got my power and my ground going in here. This is going to be the cart, part of the cable there with the gauge. Run up in there, so that's looking pretty good. Next thing I got to do Before we finish off the back here, we got to run tail light wires as well. Now, on the last video, I removed the stalk because it was pinching a wire. And on this stalk here, I found this in the parts bin. This one has my horn, it has my running lights or daytime running lights, and it has my headlights. And then you can pull it back for bright, pull it back again for low. It also has your turn signals, but it also has 2 auxiliary lights on there as well. So right now this is off. That's 1 auxiliary. That's 1 and 2 auxiliary at the same time. So the only auxiliary lights that I'm thinking about running, one is going to be a light bar. I'm thinking of doing it, not exactly sure just yet. And it won't be on this video. And the other one's going to be wheel lights, which I'm definitely going to run those. Probably put the wheel lights on number 1 here and then do the light bar on number 2 at a later time. Well, I'm not doing the wheel lights in this video either, but so I got this, and I've got a bunch of random Madjax wiring kits that I'm gonna have to piece something together. The reason I'm having to piece something together is because the headlights that I got from my buddy, I think they got a different type of end on them, and even if I have to hardwire these in, I'm gonna have to do that. And I think the tail lights that I got are made by 10 LOL, I think. Well, I found a set of stock President tail lights. These have not been used yet. And then I got these, not 10 LOLs, but Nokins. These are tinted black. They got a different type of connector on there. And this is what they look like. I got these on my wife's cart. I think they look pretty cool. I think it'll look kind of slick on there as well. I would like to run these, but trying to match everything together, might have to do some hard wiring, but that's exactly kind of what I have planned right now. Check out this spaghetti noodles of wires here. So the headlights were a 6-pin connector. The tail lights are a 4-pin connector. The harness really didn't fit in between the back harness and the front harness, so I've cut them and I've been figuring wires out. So right now we have our left turn signals. We have the right turn signals. Okay, we have a horn. I have not figured out the daytime running light wire just yet, but the headlight wire, headlights are on, running lights are on. I figured out my brake lights already, but that's where I'm at right now. And once we figure out the running lights or the daytime running lights, then we're gonna go in here and connect everything the proper way. All right, last night we got the front end put back on. Headlights are in. I got the rear body on. I got the lower kick plate on. I need to get the FNR switch in. I need to tuck some of these wires up. I need to drill the holes for the tail lights. Everything was working on the lights while it was on the floor. Something must have touched or sparked or something, but I'm getting no turn signals now. However, I did find my high and low beam, but we have no turn signals. And I've checked all the wires coming out of the Madjax box here, and none of them are blinking with the turn signals. So something is going on inside the box. You know, that really doesn't matter because nobody around here, around Berkeley County, uses turn signals anyway. They just go where they want to go. But anyways, with that being said, we found the daytime running lights wire. I got a headlight. I got high beams and low beams. We got running lights, and we have brake lights. So that's the only thing we really need on this right here cart. Walking Tall didn't even have all of that. It just had headlights and tail lights and brake lights. So we're good. We're golden. We got more than we asked for on this one. And what's great about it is I really didn't come out of pocket anything for the headlights. So stoked about that. One of the things in life that I love is when one tail light fits great and the other one doesn't. Keep rolling with the punches. I don't know why. It's almost like it's not curved or something enough. And anyways, that's a bad tail light, but it's in and it's working. Got to rob Peter to pay Paul. So I need the FNR switch brackets. And I got this one right here, Little Pinky. We'll be working on Little Pinky for too long, but we need to take those off of there and use them. All right, so this is the dash I picked out to go on a card here. It's just a carbon fiber look. And the speakers fit this one right here perfectly fine. On the DS, they did not fit, and I had to actually open the holes up some. These fit in there perfectly. I mean, I didn't put it in there straight, obviously, but just showing you they fit great. And that's what we're gonna go with. I think this right here matches the dash pretty good in the front. Now the radio that I have is the KM-C5 by Kicker. If I ever went and bought another radio again, I probably would not buy this one. I mean, it's a good radio, don't get me wrong, I like it. It's expensive. For what I paid for it, I could have got a lot of stuff, but anyways, I've had it for a while. That's what we're gonna use. And I could only find, within the amount of shipping time, a rectangle radio. So we're going to make an adapter plate on the laser to go on top of this here. And I might center this up on the hole. I'm not sure just yet. Might mark it over here, maybe put some switches over here for something. I'm not exactly sure just yet. With that being said, I was kind of wanting to keep this thing simple. I think that's what we're gonna do. And just mark this, put it dead center of the slide here. So this might be something that we can offer others as well. Once we get a plan together or whatever, but I need to take some measurements of the mounting holes here for the radio, because this one does not mount with a like a gauge. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do here. I need to find my key switch from Walking Tall. I'm gonna put that in there as well. Then just slide it into place and bolt it in, and we're done with the dash. This is my first adapter. I need to notch a little spot for the keyhole and modify the holes just a little bit on the radio. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good for the first time. Revision number 2. The key works 100% now. Had to put a little notch up there so it doesn't turn when you turn it on. I love the clicking sound it makes. This is an ATV key. I'll link it down below. So revision 3, pretty much dead on. Everything's flat. Bolts are going through the material. Now I just got to cut one out of some black acrylic. All right, that's the final revision. Revision number 4. I think number 4. 1, 2, 3. Yep, number 4 here. Radio is in and mounted. Key switch is mounted. We just need to open up the hole a little bit and mount it in. So I went ahead and got the acrylic plate laid on top of the dash here, just taped it. I need to pop 4 holes for mounting it. I just left a hardware store. I got all black hardware. I probably need to pop this one, this one, this one, and that one. At least the 2 top ones there for the radio, so we can get this right here mounted and get it semi-installed. I think this is going to be the layout for the amps. I have a 2-channel on the right, 2-channel on the left, and a sub in the middle. Only reason I put the sub in the middle because I have that gain control, and I can turn it up and down from that. And then if I need to access the levels of the 2-channel amp for any reason, I can just pull one of the speakers out and gain access to it. Well, got the electronics and the lights done on the Tempo. The new body's on, looking pretty good. I like the headlights. I also put these new side pieces on there as well. I had those for a while. Just got the bottom seat on for right now. Speakers in the back. They turned out good. They sound good. They look good. The dash, everything's in. I could not run the cover because I have it going to the inside and it comes out on the left side. So, it is what it is. I did end up putting the battery gauge there. I like that. Working on something else for that right now, but maybe for another time. I like the color. I like the tail lights. That's not a bad looking cart. Even though the sub is mounted right here, this right here does not rattle one bit. This right here also does not affect the seat. I have the sub just hanging under there. It sounds pretty good. Tail lights are on, headlights are on. So I'm thinking it's starting to turn out pretty good, but you know, it sounds good, it looks good. Like I said, this is not a show cart at all. We're going to just build it to ride it. And that's really why I'm not worried about some of the body imperfections, because we're probably going to be going on and off-road with this, and well, it's probably going to get scratched up even more. I did throw the stock mat back in here. I have another mat that's going to go on top of this, and we'll get that to a different video. But on this right here, this is done for this video here. I think it's looking pretty good. This is going to be my new personal cart to ride, but there it is. Appreciate you guys watching today's video. I know it was long, but we need to get into the next portion of the build today, and no stopping. Just got to start working. Can you guess what we're doing next? Anyways.